Hello, I'm Skura, and welcome to the show. I am so excited. I haven't played this in absolutely forever. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that someone was going to be sending me stuff. Oh, what? I suddenly know all the boys and what they are. Oh. Oh, I've learned things. Oh. I'm happy? Question mark? But I'm mostly excited because, first of all, I found the creator, Michaela Laws. I think it's Michaela Laws. It's one of the creators. Yeah, Michaela Laws. There you go, and About Me. Oh, she voices Yandere-chan and Yandere Simulate? That makes so sense. And she's Diana. She's got a sexy voice. Michaela Laws is the creator of this game. I love her to bits. She has an amazing sense of humor, and she's an amazing creature. And okay. So, whenever I found out the dragons were gonna be in Sam's playthrough, I didn't play it yet. But my brain said before I could even buy this game, because I was poor, and I'm still poor, but I couldn't afford even a $10 game. And I was sitting here, and I was trying to figure out what it could be. And I said, oh, that'd be so cool if his mother was like part dragon, and she's from the draconic realm, yada yada yada. And I made a whole headcanon of her. I even have a picture of her and him, which will be shown right now. It's so pretty. It's actually really lazily done, but I even drew this. And it became my headcanon. It is canon that his mother is part dragon, and it was shown in the Bunny of Evil, or Michaela Laws, Tumblr, which will be in the link in the description below, along with a bunch of other links. And by that only the game's links, now I think about it. But I love it. You can follow it, you can watch it. She gives you some interesting information. Let me close this before I get into that. Another reason I am so excited, Michaela Laws posted a new game. It's the Malix dating game, but it's not what it seems is an April Fool's joke. But at the same time, it's not. I haven't played it. I haven't even watched. Why is my I put a Red Bull down and it got stuck to my desk. There it is. It was legitimately stuck to it. I about lifted my desk up trying to get it. But apparently, you can learn some things from this. In the beginning, it's a bunch of bullshit. You have to really fight Michaela for a moment to even get to the real game. But it looks really interesting. I'm not going to watch the full playthrough. I'm going to play it myself after all this. So you won't see it from my channel for a long time. But if you get too antsy, look at someone else. I thoroughly implore you. Go look at someone else's. It might be really fun. Or I even more implore you. I implore you. Go play it for yourself. It is a free one. Just like the original, it is free. And at first it's really stupid. You really gotta fight it. And you gotta know information from the first and second game. I think it's from the first game. Yes? Question mark? The first one I don't know for sure, but the second one is, and you can learn some things about Malix from what I can tell. It's gonna be super fun. I've rambled too much, and I've also gotten way out. So, it's been a while since I've played this, so let's play. I ran in my room until the night came. I was getting food, which looked like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, let me know that food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I'm gonna take another drink. Red Bull. Monster's better. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? Just eat it. I gulped. I had to try it. I had to eat it. I hadn't eaten in 2 days, even before I came to the demon world. I was pretty certain Diana wouldn't poison me now, and I was fairly sure that she wouldn't serve me anything disgusting. I lit a spoon that was sitting in the broth, letting it capture some of the stew as it rose. I mean, it was terribly scary to look at. Wasn't terribly scary to look at. I gulped and slowly brought the spoon to my lips, feeling the heat emanate from the stew. A knock rapped at my door. That's an old word. Breaking me out of my train of thought. Huh? Come in. The door opened to reveal Diana with a plate holding things I recognized. Bread and cheese. I let out a heavy sigh of relief before Diana left.
I suggest not trying that. As good as it smells, the taste would not sit well with you.
Aw. I moved the bowl to the nearby table, thankful that I didn't have to try it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food. Eat up.
Aw, I will. I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating, surprisingly, was delicious. As I began to crave something to drink, Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand that filled a clear liquid that I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quenched before I let out a sigh. I feel so much better.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating. Then we'll head for the ritual.
Ritual. I looked up at Diana, suddenly excited. Everything was prepared for? Was it possible to go home now? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded.
We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
I couldn't continue eating. My mind went into I can't pop my neck. My mind went into an obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moving the plate and goblet to the nearby table. Let's go.
Huh? Are you sure?
Why would I not be sure? I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I needed to get home, and I was tired of waiting. Diana stared before nodding and heading for the door, opening it for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relieved joy. I was heading home. No, you're not. Diana led me down the corridors to the war room where I had originally arrived, to reveal the table covered in plants and artifacts of different kinds. None of it made sense to me, but I had only to assume it was what was needed for the spell to work. Diana walked to the table and took note of what I saw, nodding.
This should work.
You're in doubt?
Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home. Do we have a human anchor?
No, you're on your own this time. But we'll make sure you survive casting it.
The spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which your guard can refill immediately after this.
Just make sure you don't die casting it.
Diana smiled at her guard before turning to me.
So, are you ready to return home?
Yes. She didn't have to ask. I'm ready. Diana nodded once more before turning back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head, muttering under her breath.
O tenebris portas, apriat nobis, largiatur exidium.
As she spoke, the table began to glow as did she. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her back. Hissy, staring at the ceiling. A glimpse at her eyes made me gasp. Warm golden orbs covered her blood-red irises. Okay, hold on. This is in my ear, and I don't know how loud it actually is. Stop with your fucking... Calm down. Warm golden orbs covered her blood-red irises, glowing with magic. She was deep within the spell, and I could see it slowly draw energy from her body. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other, almost as if the lights were dancing to a silent tune. Here the demon stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her finger pointed into the air, leading the lights to follow where it directed obediently. She drew a large circle in the air, and the lights followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air. As they finally stopped moving, they burst into a bright light, causing the demon's eye to cover her eyes from it. It engulfed the room, but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it before pulling the tear apart, revealing my bedroom. Diana continued to pull the tear open, giving enough space for me to jump through.
Hurry and go through! This is your chance!
That's really pretty. I see what they did there. It looks really good. I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I gripped the bottom of my dress and rushed forward, using momentum to jump into the air and forward towards the void. I could almost reach it. I could feel the air conditioning in my room, right at my fingertips.
She will never leave this world alive!
The voice acting to that must have really killed your throat, sir. Demon Lord's voice rang through the air just as I saw my fingertips pass through the tear. What stopped the rest of my body was a red light and forcing me and Diana back from the opening. Ah! I felt my body fly backwards and slam into the wall before I landed on the stone ground. I heard Diana as well land beside me with a painful thud. I looked up and felt my heart break as the tear became wrapped in red lightning, zipping itself closed and vanishing into thin air. No, this couldn't be.
Damn it!
Chill, man.
That should have worked! How could it have failed?
I don't know.
Must have missed something. Was there anything we had forgotten?
No. I verified everything myself.
Then why was the Demon Lord able to overpower a gate spell?
I highly doubt you know either, brute.
Stop fighting! We need to make a plan and all of you are just being stupid! Stupid!
You need to calm down.
Are you all right, Isaiah?
I'm fine. Is...
I was too lost in my mind to fully understand what was going on around me. I was so close. I felt the other side. I was almost made it home. Why couldn't I go home? Diana's grunt of pain next to me made me shoot my head towards her, and I watched her slowly push herself off of the ground and glare at the table.
The Demon Lord must have done something more than simply bring her here.
What could he have done?
Now, the Demon Lord is incapable of doing anything of the sort. His lackey imps must have done something to her.
A spell?
A curse.
I looked up to the rabbit woman, seeing her stare wide-eyed at me. The other demons stared at me as well, and suddenly I felt like I was on display. Was something wrong with me?
She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane. In order to leave, she'd have to die.
What? My mind went blank. Did the Demon Lord really curse me? Was I forced to stay in this world until I died? I could never go back?
Are you suggesting a barrier curse?
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
But dark magic like that requires...
Blood of 1,000 demons. He must have sacrificed part of his army to cast a curse on her that would prevent her from leaving.
The Demon Lord is that desperate for her.
The only way to break that kind of curse is to kill the caster, the Demon Lord himself.
She's trapped here. Until this war is over.
Get used to me. My body began to shiver violently. The Demon Lord killed 1,000 demons just to trap me here. Why? Why? I slammed my fist into the ground and began to scream. I'm not screaming that, so I want to go home. Why? I could feel the sympathy and anger in the room, but I didn't care. I was beyond livid. I was far past broken. I was seeing red. Ah! I can't actually yell. It's nighttime, and my poor mother dearest is like right across the room. Not room, hallway sleeping, so... Ah. As my voice ripped through the air, a bright light erupted through the room. Once again! Everyone covered their eyes, but Diana quickly scrambled to get on her knees and covered me up with her body. She held me tightly as the light invaded the space and slowly began to fade. As the light finally died, everyone moved their hands to see what had happened. In the air was a white tail slowly opening, facing down towards the table. Something was coming. I could feel it in the air. The guard summoned his spear and pointed it at the tear, glaring at it and gritting his teeth.
Something's coming!
No! In reply, Diana summoned what looked like a saber and placed it in front of us.
Ready yourselves! It could be the Demon Lord!
The other demons in the world The other demons in the room readied themselves and stared at the tear, either holding a weapon or preparing a spell. I felt the air change, becoming heavier as the tear began to grow. The energy around it began to pulsate, making everyone in the room that much more tense. I stared at the tear as well, frightened as to what was coming. Was it the Demon Lord? His minions? My mind began to cycle through the fearful ideas of what was about to appear. The boys! My heart almost stopped. Fallen from the tear and landing on the table were the 5 Incubi brothers. They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. However, as the last brother landed, the boys fell to one side, toppling off the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of Incubi, confused and surprised. As the tear in the air closed, the ogre man was first to lower his sword.
What the hell?
Who are they?
Careful, they could be the Demon Lord's men.
No. Oh, no. The rebels looked at me as I stood up. Diana followed and still protected me. I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked from having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. They were right in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I first met them. They had all been on the floor of my mansion, unconscious and wounded. Now they were in front of me in the demon world. I know them. Swoop. I stared at the one I was meant to marry. My eyes actually went to him because I forgot that I'm on his route. Hi, Matthew. I love you. But he's better. I'm a dick. I stared at the one I was meant to marry, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. I was going to go home. The question was, how? At the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second terror opened above them, causing everyone to look up. 4 women dropped down from the terror and somehow managed to fall into the arms of the incubi behind Matthew. Whoa! Totally not petty. I swear it. I'm not petty. Shush. Shh, just embrace it. We're just going to let it happen. I'm horrible.
I gotcha. Whoa, are you okay?
Eric!
Love, I've got you!
Adorable.
James!
All the voice actors.
Are you alright?
I stared wide-eyed. Their wives came too? That's a good question. Why? Oh my gosh, the face. I watched as the boys and the girls finally plant themselves on the ground before looking around. However, Matthew instantly bolted for me, causing Diana to jump away in surprise.
Whoa!
Matthew wrapped his arms around me, and I instinctively tensed up from being charged at before, taking an instant in physical form. He was here. I wasn't dreaming. He really came for me, and he was here holding me.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm fine. I almost couldn't believe it, but I wrapped my arms around Matthew's torso, pulling him tighter to me as I took in one more whiff of his scent. However, before I could melt into his arms in relief at his presence, he was forcibly dragged backwards.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Calm yourself.
Whoa!
Huh? I watched his fairy figure grip Matthew's hoodie and roughly pulled him away from me with an angered face. Hold on!
Matthew!
Before anyone could react, Matthew spun around and swiped at the fairy. They squeaked and released him, floating higher into the air.
Hands off!
You hands off!
That was like watching children. I quickly rushed over and held Matthew's hand, wanting to bring his attention away from the fairy and back to me. Kiss him. I reached up and grabbed Matthew's face, pulling him to me and kissed him. His eyes stared in shock before he melted against my lips and held my head and his hands kissing me deeper. I can't read. I closed my eyes in sync with his as I lowered my hands and wrapped them around his shoulders. I was beyond happy to feel him again. At that moment, Can I have my thank you? My drink wants to stick to the frickin' desk. Huh. Oh. I gotta make noises when I drink for some reason. I was just happy that he was there with me again. Unfortunately, Matthew and I couldn't stay for long. The fairy shouting caused us to pull apart and look at them.
He has the same aura as the Demon Lord!
No! Rubbing her head and glaring at the fairy, Diana stepped up, causing her arms to rubbing her temple. Crossing.
Well, he is the son of the Demon Lord.
That's not what I meant! I'm saying... Ugh!
Oh, I thought this looked different. So, because, speaking of, well, hold on, wait. What was Matthew's blood again? His family's, like, bloodline is in here somewhere. Hold on, get away from it. Would the laptop stop lagging, please? That would be great. Could you stop? Mr. Laptop. Burning hot love. I'm just staring at this because I can't open this. I want to know his blood. I know he's 50% brute, which is the Demon Lord. What was the others again? Matthew. Okay, so he's straight up 50% brute, 50% incubus. He is the only other one that is a purebred, quote unquote. he is the only one that is 50-50. Because Sam is 50-25-25, James is 50-30-20, Damien is 50-25-25, Eric is 50-40-10. Matthew is the only one that's 50-50.
Come on, let's get you home.
Matthew gently took my hand and tugged me towards his brothers. However, this time Diana stepped in front of Matthew.
I'm afraid she can't leave.
The face. I'm gonna leave it here because I haven't mentioned this in this one. I've been working on the animation, and I have very little time for anything else, so I've been having problems with posting, keeping things up, because I haven't been able to make anything. I've had no time to do anything. So I'm trying to do this. I don't even know if it will post in time. But just so you know, this is April 4th I'm recording this. So if I don't make it this Saturday, that tells you just how busy I am. Either way, I'm going to end it here. I need to feed my lizards anyway. So thank you for watching. I'm Draco Skura, and I hope you enjoyed the show.